Hello. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Sherlock Holmes and the Whitechapel murders. My name is Watson, Dr. John Watson. You may remember me from Sherlock Holmes and the Silent 4, featuring my dear friend, Sherlock Holmes. Why, it was at the conclusion of said case that you might recall that Holmes thwarted his nemesis, the arch-criminal Moriarty, sending him off to prison. It was also during this case that I met Miss Mary Marston, my wife. A lovely woman. Yes, indeed. But now all worked out well. Holmes prevailed. Moriarty, why, he went off to prison. And Mary and I fell in love, married, and moved into a charming townhouse in Holland Square. Mary Marston, Mrs. Watson, my wife, recently reminded me that Holmes is my dearest friend. She convinced me that it is imperative that I seek him out, not to repair her feelings or assuage jealousies, mind you, but because a larger event was unfolding. An event so profound it affected all of London. Here, I'll set the scene.
London, fall of 88.
1888.
For several weeks.
A fog.
Has consumed London.
A dark fog. A dark, black, evil fog.
No, blacker than evil. It saturates our streets like swamp water.
It burns our eyes.
It festers in our nostrils.
An obscene stench.
One cannot escape it, for it refuses to go away. It has invaded our every conversation.
Even when we speak not of it.
It sits on our tongues like a hot penny.
We gave it a name, this evil.
And in doing so, we give it prominence over our lives.
Fame becomes it.
Drawing sustenance from the ink of our newspapers.
It has become a part of our national dreamscape.
No one is safe.
For it thrives on our fears.
We call this fog
This evil fog.
Jack! Jack the Ripper! At this very moment, Jack scours the bowels of London in search of his next victim. Because, well, now that he is the man of the hour, he must murder. It is expected of him, and Jack will not disappoint. Here are the facts to date. 4 defenseless women, 4 horrific murders, all prostitutes, all butchered while still alive. Mary has convinced me that the one man who could put a stop to these killings is Sherlock Holmes. We are to see him in the morning. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, my wife, Mrs. John Watson.
Mrs. Mary Marston Watson, if you please. Come, John, the hour is growing late. We must rouse ourselves early in the morning.
Oh, I beg your pardon, ladies.
Oh, no need to beg.
No, she'll give it away if you ask nice enough.
Heaven, honey.
Excuse me.
You're a beauty, you are.
Oh, he is.
Oh, excuse me.
Come here, dearie, what's your worry?
Off you
Good
go,
day.
dearie. Off you go.
What is it with men? Before they get themselves hitched, they're all like Samson, tearing down religious edifices, all sneer and spit.
I know. The minute they say I do, they spend the whole rest of their lives wondering what happened. I don't know why we're coming down here. Why are we coming down here?
Oh yeah, ask me another.
Well, I'm just saying, there's no business to be had down here this time of night.
I'm not going down to Whitechapel till they catch us, that madman. Why, even told a few of my regulars I'd be down here tonight.
Regulars, he only got the one and I already died, he did.
Oh, he died, he did, only he hadn't gotten the news yet. So until he does, that living corpse is paying me rent.
Oh, hello, dearie. All alone, are you? Looking for a body to talk with?
Do you want a drink? What's the matter, dearie? Cat got your tongue? Come here, I got something to show you. Ah, that's it, dearie. Come on now. I don't bite.
Now better please will take a chunk out of here. Oh, well, that's all fine and large, but I'm talking to him. Yeah, you. You got a friend? Brother? Dying uncle?
Be gone!
Yeah, get your own fella.
All right, don't got a batty fangy. I'm going back to Whitechapel. It's getting kind of chilly down here by the water anyway.
Hot
It's
and
kind of chilly.
Ooh, that's it, dearie. Oh, you're a strong one, ain't ya? You like doing the bear? A little too strong. Oh, no need to be so rough. Oh, yeah, I can hardly breathe. But God, stop. I will God, please.
Who goes there?
A friend.
I know you not, sir.
Nevertheless, I am your friend. Or your benefactor.
What do you want of me?
I want nothing of you now. I will thank you.
You better move on or else.
I say the same to you.
Why, you impertinent!
Put that away. The body's becoming sweet.
Ah! She barely made a peep! I made sure no one heard.
I heard. It was exquisite. After I caught my breath, I sent one of my men to call a cop.
If you summoned the police, why are you letting me go?
Hurry!
Who are you?
I'm someone who finds you useful for now. Go, quickly! Over here, under the pole. There she is, oh. Such a shame. I think I saw Jack flying his trade again.
Saw him.
Jack? Oh, yes.
Which way did he go?
I don't know. Just 1 minute he was standing right there where you were picking up residence, and then he just disappeared.
Disappear.
Just bleed and ran off.
Well, I don't think he was in the mood for a chat.
Look, I'm in the mood for a chat, so you stay put and don't move.
I'll do both.
Check him for bloodstains, then come over here and help me with it.
Floaters, floaters,
Hey,
floaters, here.
It's disgusting, I say. Why haven't the police captured this man? What are they paid for, I ask you? A woman isn't safe to walk the streets these days.
Oh, you're safe. It says here, he prefers his victims young.
Well, I never.
That's another reason why you're safe.
Why, go on with you. What else does it say?
Let me read before you ask. I might have an answer for you.
I'll take the paper.
There you go.
There you go.
Take paper. Trawlers here. Paper. 10 a penny, 10 a penny. Paper.
More killings happening, eh?
bloody bludger's at it again.
It's only a couple of tales when you really think of it.
A couple of dollywops, you say. Good riddance to them oysters.
I thought some of the ladies carried diseases, and when you think of it, no honest woman would ever sink that level. Well, I knew this one woman who lived in our building, and one fine day she dropped me a line. Me! Oh, if the wife had heard her, she would have hit me with the broom.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
Mary!
Well, these poor innocent women have no other means of making a living. My father would have had you both whipped. They can't apply for jobs without references, and there's no way to obtain references without jobs. The very idea. Buy me a paper, please.
Oh, yes, dear.
And give the boy an extra bob.
Thank you, ma'am.
Well, you're a fine fellow this morning, Mary.
What's she blowing on about? I tell you, women are getting far too hoity-toity for my liking. Give them a good swift kick in the damn south once in a while. Then put them in their rightful place, and that's all I've got to say about that.
Well, there it is. You see the attitudes of the locals. They care nothing for these poor innocent women. They're only concerned with keeping their wives in servitude.
Mary, can we discuss this again later, please?
Take her in hand, sir. Take her in hand.
Oh, thank you, sir, to refrain from referring to my wife in such a manner. Now, step aside, please. Come, Mary.
But, John, you're walking in the wrong direction.
But I believe that we should be going home, Mary.
You know there is only but one man who can put a stop to these murders. This way.
Mary, for the last time, I reached out to Holmes a number of times, and he has not responded. I tried out of a desire to maintain our long friendship. But I have heard nothing in response, not even as much as a rebuff. Nothing. But Mary, I can't force myself on him.
Well, yes, you can. Yes, we can. You are a better man than this, John, and so is he. I refuse to believe that he has turned away from you because of me. But if that is the truth, then what is going on now in this city should take precedence over a damaged friendship.
I agree, Mary, but do not be disappointed if he, tosses us out on our ears.
Please, John, we must try.
There are times in a man's life when he must consider the damage that he might inflict on his marriage by denying his wife a seemingly simple request. But this is one of those times.
John?
Oh, none but the brave deserve the fair. Why, come, Mary, let's go.
I'm blind and unfortunate. Please buy me nosegays. I'm blind and unfortunate. Please buy me nosegays. Nosegay for the missus, sir?
Thank you, no, young woman.
John, we spoke of this. You're being contrary for no reason.
I'll take one.
That'll be a bob, sir.
There you are. Keep the change, dear.
Don't kill yourself, Dr. Watson.
What did you just say?
I said, thank you, Bill.
No, you didn't. Repeat what you just said.
I didn't say nothing. Leave me alone.
Come on. Tell me what you just said.
John.
Come on now. Tell me, young woman.
I said, don't kill yourself, Dr. Watson.
What? How did you know I was me? Oh, aha! So it is you, Mary. Sarah.
Sarah, what are you doing?
No offense, miss, but what does it look like I'm doing? Selling nosegays. One has to eat, one does.
But pretending to be blind.
Mr. Holmes pretends he's sane, don't he?
He has a point, John. Goodbye, Sarah. Be very careful. There is a madman on the loose.
Don't worry, miss. Wiggins tells me Holmes has locked himself up at 221B.
She's not speaking of Sherlock Holmes.
Well, the other madman, Sarah.
Oh, him. I'll be all right. Jack's had his fill for a couple of days. Just killed himself another one he did, down by the docks. Took the kidneys this time, I hear.
John, we must go in haste.
Yes. Goodbye, sir. Goodbye, little one.
Here we are.
I do hope that he still lives here.
Well, I'm sure he does. Why would he move?
Why, it took the two of us girded at the loins to keep Mrs. Hudson under control, as she's quite a formidable woman, but I'm not certain that Holmes can manage her alone.
Mrs. Hudson! Mrs. Hudson! John, kick down the door.
For heaven's sake, Harry. Mrs. Hudson! Mrs. Hudson, it's John Watson.
And Mrs. Mary Marston Watson.
Oh, my stars, it's Dr. Watson. You brought Mary.
Oh, yes, indeed, I have.
Oh, we must see Mr. Holmes.
By the way, good morning, Mrs. Hudson. You're looking well.
She does not, John. Mrs. Hudson, you look a fright. Is everything okay? Is it Holmes?
I'm afraid you've come at a very awkward moment.
He's not receding.
Oh, not today. Not yesterday. Not for weeks.
You see, Mary, Holmes wishes to be alone. Perhaps we should be pushing off, Mrs. Hudson.
Perhaps.
Come, Mary, you see he's not receding. Let's go.
Mrs. Hudson, you're crying.
I hardly noticed the tears these days.
Oh, what is the matter?
Oh, Mary. He doesn't go out. He doesn't let anybody in. He won't eat. I put a tray outside his door because he refuses even me entry. More often than not, it's left untouched. Just Thursday week, he ordered me to send Regans away.
Oh my, that is bad.
Oh, it is truly. He's quite fond of the boy.
I sent several messages around, Mrs. Hudson. Did he receive them?
I put them under his door, but I don't know if he read them. He doesn't speak to me.
Can you please let us know? I'm sure he'll speak with John.
Oh, he said that he would skin me alive and use my intestines to string his violin if I let anybody in.
John.
He'll do no such thing. Not while I'm around.
Oh, not while we're around.
Oh, of course, but come in, come in. If he doesn't open the door, use my key. I should have done so sooner. Oh, he can't go on like this. He just can't. Oh.
Thank you, Mrs. Hudson.
Sherlock Holmes possessed 2 rifles, a starting pistol, and a bow and arrow, and several well-maintained saber swords. Needless to say, we approached his door with some trepidation.
Mr. Holmes, I brought someone to see you. Please, open the door.
You've been warned, old woman. I'll see no one. Go away. Go!
Holmes, it's John Watson. Please open the door. I want Mary.
That's a weak incentive if I've ever heard one.
Holmes, for such an insult, I shall anoint you with my fist. Open this door at once.
Oh, no. No, you can't fool me. I know that voice. You're not Watson. You're Moriarty. Come and kill me. I know what you are about. Go away. I forbid you entry.
Oh, Mr. Holmes, please stop. You can't possibly believe that Dr. Watson is Moriarty.
Stand away from the door, Mrs. Hudson, if indeed that is who you are. I caution you, my lord.
Stay back.
Step aside. Let me try. Dear Mr. Holmes, it's Mary, Mrs. Mary Marston Watson. I want to tell you that I am sorry that I married John Watson.
I beg your pardon.
Please believe me. I never would have married John if I knew it would cause you such grief. Well, what I mean to say is, this is not you. Not the man that I met just a few months ago. You are a good man, Sherlock Holmes. You could not harm anyone. Not John, not me, not even Mrs. Hudson's intestines. But if you are angry with me because I fell in love with John, your truest friend, then I accept your anger. But please, let us in. John and I and Mrs. Hudson want to help. And, well, we may have a case for you.
Oh, bugger all. Stand back. I'm going in. The key, if you will, Mrs. Hudson. Watson! Oh,
There you are. stupid. Ladies?
Well, hello, Hudson. It's Mayor Holmes. It's been quite some time. I sent several messages around. Did you not receive them?
Of course I did. It appears I am not at my best this
Morning.
morning.
Holmes, you look a bit under the weather. Do you mind if we let in some light? Mrs. Hudson, Mary?
Mary. Of course. You and she. Have you married?
You know very well that we were married.
Of course we're married. Why wouldn't we be? We love each other. And we both think the world of you, Mr. Holmes. I know that you and John are the closest of friends. I only hope that you can remain so.
Friends. Of course we're friends. And you, Mary? I thought very highly of you. Until
Be very careful there, friend.
Mrs. Hudson. There you are. I haven't seen you of late. Or have I? Never mind. Mrs. Hudson, I think I am famished. And to prove my theory, well, I've always said that the strict and careful observation of clues is the backbone to any investigation. Here's our first clue.
Oh!
Holmes!
Well, what did you expect? He hasn't eaten in days.
Don't blame me for that.
I blame no one save himself, Mrs. Hudson.
Oh, he's feverish, I think.
Here, let's get him to the lounge. Can you get his feet? I got his shoulders. You got them? All right, here we go. He's home. Oh, good. Oh, dear. He does have a fever, but it's not raging. But his heartbeat, it's strong. His eyes are clear. But look! Look at his arms! Injection sites! Why, he's been taking cocaine! Why, that explains his lack of appetite. Mrs. Hudson, can you get some soup or broth? Something that's easy to digest.
Oh, yes, I'm sure I have something on the stove. I think it's a broth or a stew. Was it broth or stew?
Oh, doesn't matter. Whatever it is. I'm sure that it's warm and hot and nourishing. Now, please hurry.
I'll be back in a minute, I will.
Good. Mary, can you fetch a glass of broccoli, please?
Of course.
Okay, can you hold his head out and back, please?
Well, I think that helped.
Watson, you again. And Mary, when did you arrive?
We've been here for quite a while.
Why? Why are you here?
We are here to help you regain your strength. We are here because, well, we owe so much to you. We are here because, well, we love you.
Oh, I doubt that he would appreciate that last sentiment, Mary. I fear our man is quite devoid of most feelings. Here, it'd probably be better if we get him up a bit. At home, good.
Oh, Mr. Holmes, you're looking better already. I've run some hot beef broth, and I hope you will try to eat it.
Actually, Mrs. Hudson, I believe I shall. I am quite capable of feeding myself, madam.
Quite capable, I see, Holmes.
Indeed. I say, where's Wiggins? He was just here. Am I correct in this, or was it a drug-induced dream?
He was here, but you sent him away.
I did no such thing.
Oh, I'm afraid that you did, Mr. Holmes. Oh, his feelings were quite hurt, too. But I explained everything. I said that you were ill, and you just weren't able to employ him at the moment.
When was this, Mrs. Hudson?
Oh, 2 weeks ago, I believe.
But you must eat to keep up your strength.
I must get a message to Wiggins. John, will you do it?
Of course. Well, I'll just jingle the coins in my purse, and you come running.
John, don't be so contrary.
Watson is correct, Mary. Not only can Wiggins hear the coins in a man's purse 10 paces off, he can tell you their value. But I shan't speak ill of him. He's always been of great service to me. If I've treated him badly, he must be made to realize it was not his fault, that he will always be welcome.
Holmes, now that I see that you're getting a bit stronger, I feel that I must tell you the real reason why we're here. I don't suppose that you are aware of
The Whitechapel murders?
Oh,
Here now, how did you know about that?
you don't think that he's really strong enough to take on a case like... Oi! What do you know of the Whitechapel murders? You haven't laid eyes on a newspaper in weeks.
I can smell it in the air. The stench of desperation is quite powerful. Plus, you have an annoying habit of reading newspapers aloud, Mrs. Hudson. 5 prostitutes. Butchered. The police have made no progress, I assume. No leads. And this man, for I presume only a man could attack these women so violently. Why is this man known as the Whitechapel murderer when the latest murder took place at the docks? Has Lestrade given any interviews to the press? What are the other prostitutes saying? Anyone? Do you know anything?
Blast it, Holmes! You're asking me questions that I cannot answer. But I'll say this. I don't think Lestrade is capable of finding such a monster.
As usual, you swim in a sea of obvious, Watson.
Oh, be that as it may. But we, Mary and I, think that our best hope in finding this man lies with you. Oh, but I'll be deuced if I can see how you can work in your condition.
What condition? Mrs. Hudson, your broth is a salve to my once bewildered mind, but now I shall need a meat pie. Do not bother with the plate, as I shall consume it on the go. Watson?
Yes.
It's time to track our man.
Jack.
What?
Jack, the Ripper. They're calling him Jack the Ripper because of the terrible wounds he leaves behind on his head.
Indeed. The game's afoot. I shall need of you both. Watson, contact Wiggins. Have him and his mates scour the city, searching for anything they can find about these murders. Barry, supply me with every newspaper, tabloid, and pamphlet you can find for the past 2 weeks. I myself shall go to police headquarters and demand to see copies of the police reports from these cases. Finally, John, I have an idea which you may find somewhat dangerous, and if you object, I would understand. It involves you, Mary.
Me?
Mary?
Yes, you. Mrs. Mary Marston Watson.
Oh, you again? This has gone from amusing to just plain tiresome.
I'm afraid you can't get rid of me. You see, I have use for you now.
You better step aside or you'll regret it.
I don't think I will. You see, I know where you reside. If a residence is what you would call it.
Now, how do you know where I live?
Minions, my dear friend, minions. I have hundreds of them. They follow you like smoke follows the wind. And then they report back to me. You see, one word from me and you will be captured, arrested, tried, convicted, and hanged in one day. You won't even have time to evacuate your bowels. So you might as well come with me and do as I say. Come, I say.
And to that end, we must form a group and confront the police. We must put a stop to these murders before something terrible happens.
Yeah, the right name we call him Jack. It's no use going to the police, miss. They can't do nothing about our Jack. He's too smart to get caught. And me are 2 breaths away from Her Majesty the Queen. Not to worry though, we've got your Whitechapel Vigilance Committee right here. A big up there, madam. A big help. Oh, little son of a...
If it was Gillen and Lexi, you 2 blighters, you'd be speaking different now, wouldn't you?
Only if you were next, Lobby.
Gentlemen, to make light of this is a crime in and of itself. We must be vigilant and report anything that we see out of the ordinary to the police. If you are go to the police, you can report anything that you see to me, and I will go to the police for you. I thank you for listening.
Mary,
May I have a few bobs, sir?
Here you are, dear.
Pop off, you! Now then, what the devil have we here? Well, if it isn't Sherlock Holmes, as I live and breathe.
I'd sure like to remedy that.
I was wondering when you'd be showing your pointy head. I suppose you're the center of this, whatever the hell it is you're doing here.
Calm yourself, Inspector.
I'm as calm as me mother in church. Now tell me, what the devil is this all about?
My wife, Mrs. Watson, thinks that it's a good thing to organize the local residents into a silent and militia, if you will. It would be helpful in apprehending Jack the Ripper. Why, I agree. My good friend here, Sherlock Holmes, he agrees as well. He and I are here to offer our moral support.
And our protection.
Nothing more.
Mrs. Watson, forgive me for speaking thusly, but we, the police, are quite capable of handling the... Wait a bit, go on. Would you be the former Mary Marston?
Oh yes, one and the same.
We've met somewhere before, but where was it? Ah, I remember now. You aided me and Mr. Holmes in recovering a cache of jewels. But you weren't married at the time. And now you're wed to the good Dr. Watson. Well, sir, I must congratulate you. Yes, Mrs. Watson, please accept my good wishes. Now then, when did this blessed event occur? I ask because the invitation to your nuptials seems to have gotten itself mislaid.
We were married a few months ago, and your invitation was not mislaid, as you were not invited.
John.
Mrs. Watson, I do apologize for not recognizing you. Of late, my mind is just full of this case.
Oh, quite all right, Inspector.
How goes your investigation, Inspector? Any suspects yet?
Suspects, he asks. To date, sir, we have received at least 1,000 letters. Each letter writer proclaims to be the, what's the latest he's called? Oh, yes, the Ripper. Oh, no. The newspapers have recently baptized him as Jack. So yes, we have 1,000 suspects, each claiming to be Jack the Ripper. It befuddles the brain. And what's worse, there have been several murders hereabouts, which may be the work of others, trying to emulate Mr. Ripper. Befuddling, I say again, and maddening. In all honesty, Holmes, I wouldn't mind admitting that we could use some of your thoughts on the case.
Admit away, Inspector. Whatever I can do to help, please call upon me at any time. Let me just say that the limited information I have suggests that this man, or men, presents an extremely complex set of circumstances. But what is his motivation? To rob? Not from these poor women. To kill? Then why not just kill them? Why the terrible slashing wounds and apparent evidence of organ removal? To terrorize and create havoc in the populace? A bit far-fetched. Revenge? Ah yes, revenge, a possibility.
Revenge? What leads you to believe it could be revenge?
Syphilis, my dear man. Syphilis.
Of course, I've seen several cases. Why, a horrendous disease causing flesh-eating sores and eventual madness and death. Well, unfortunately, these wretched women often are carriers of the bacillus. Why, Jack suffers from the disease and is taking his revenge out on these unfortunate women who passed it on to him.
Your reasoning is commendable, Watson.
John, do you really think that that may be the reason?
Oh, as Holmes has suggested it, I agree. It is a most plausible motive.
Those poor women.
You're shivering, darling.
This October weather, rather chilly and damp. There's a pub just down the street from here. We could continue our conversation there and over a spot of tea.
I'm not sure I have the time nor the wherewithal for such.
My table.
Well, Mrs. Watson, You think we can convince these two gents to join us for a pot of tea? Alas, we're going to sit by an open fire, eh?
John, Sherlock, will you be joining us?
That's it, Holmes. For once I agree with the inspector. It would be good to sit by an open fire.
I hope they have a good meat pie.
Of course. Holmes, you have a meat pie in your pocket.
So I have, Watson. So I have.
Holmes, you all right?
May I have a few pots, sir?
I could make a meat pie out of you, and you wouldn't be the first.
Good evening, fellow citizens. I am a representative of the Whitechapel Vigilance Committee. As such, I ask that you be mindful of...
Whitechapel? What about the one from the docks? I know them, she count.
Please, let me finish.
To hell with your committee. Stay out of the way, you busybody, and let the coppers do their job for what it's worth.
Here now! There ain't no way to speak to a lady! And for what it's worth, we coppers are doing what we can to keep you, the populace, safe. Bugger all!
Stay with Mary, Watson. I fear this may be something she need not see.
But Holmes, wait! Oh, all right. Oh, Mary, I do hope that it's not another victim.
What's all the excitement? Where's everyone off to?
Oh, we don't know, actually. My friend thinks that it might be another victim.
My God, what have you done?
Oh, be quiet. He'll be all right. Just keep on walking. He'll be looked after.
Holmes! Is he dead?
He'll be all right.
Well, who done it? Did you see?
It was none other than Jack the Ripper.
Jack the Ripper himself? And what about Mrs. Watson? Where's Mary?
Jack's got her.
Blimey, bleeding hell!
The scream was a mere distraction. He wanted Mary. John was an obstacle.
But how? Why Mary? Holmes, what could he be planning?
I don't know, but I shan't worry. She's not his kind of woman.
Shan't worry? Holmes, we must follow him!
Of course, but we need to know what he looks like. His clothing.
Here we are, sir. What is it?
Off you go! You that way! You that way! Hurry up now!
Wait! He's coming to! Watson, what happened?
Oh,
Did you see what happened?
my head!
Don't try to get up.
Wait, where's Anthony? Where's Mary? Where is she?
She's been taken.
What should we do, sir?
What should we do? I don't know. Why don't you put on a pot of tea, maybe rustle up a couple of scones? How about you go and find her, you bloody
What are we all standing here for?
We gotta know what she looks like and what she's wearing.
Lestrade! Dispatch your officers at once. Here is what they must watch for. She is well dressed, without a hat, red shawl. He must be carrying her. He walks with a limp. Davis is right foot.
Well, how do you know that? Did you see this man?
His footprints. There, across the way. A bit of mud. He must have stepped in it while he watched us speak to the crowd. These are his footprints. His partial footprints, mind you, but enough to show that he drags his left leg and his stride is substantially shorter with that leg. Now, go men. I hope that is enough a description for you.
Since you asked, Mr. Holmes, is the right proper description.
Get a move on! I'll get more men.
It's wind.
Boy, what's up? I'll couple us and I heard the whistle, so I came to see what's going on. What about you?
That That's all right. Of course it's all right. It's very good to see you again, young man. Your timing could not be more fortuitous. Gather your irregulars. Disperse them to the four corners of London. Have them find out anything they can about this man who absconded with Mrs. Watson.
Cool, Mrs. Watson herself?
Yes. She's wearing a red paisley shawl. He may be guiding her as if she's inebriated or ill. He walks with a distinct limp. And Wiggins, I think it may be Jack.
Cool, Jack the Ripper himself?
Himself. Now listen, be careful. Do not approach him. I could never forgive myself if any harm came to you or any of the irregulars. Now, go. As usual, 221B is Command Central.
Good, Miss Holmes. Don't worry, we'll find it for you.
Holmes, what are we to do? He'll kill her!
He wants her alive as a law for me.
How can you know this?
Because I inadvertently caused this. If it wasn't for me...
Mary would be safe. Safe at home with me. Holmes.
Come home with me, Watson. There's nothing we can do for her now.
Wakey, wakey, my dear. Dinner served soon. I'm sorry I have no wine to go with dinner, but the Vita was closed. Seems to be a death in the family. Nothing to do with me, of course. Sorry to say.
What? Who are you? Where am I?
Why, Mrs. Watson, you deflate me. I am, as they say, the man of the hour.
You're...
The name's Ripper, Mrs. Watson, as in Jack the. And I am at your service. Now, you must take some nutrients. You must keep your strength up. Of course, it isn't an acquired taste, kidney pie is. My mom used to make it for me when we were a lad and we could afford food. Rich and sweet they are. Hence the name, sweetmeats. Mrs. Watson. Now, Mrs. Watson, that's much too formal. May I call you Mary, Mrs. Watson?
No, you may not. Release me. Release me at once. Do you hear me?
Be quiet! I mean, it must be a bit of a shock finding yourself here. Well, there's no need for alarm. You see, I have no reason to harm you. See, I need you. But first, the sweetmeats.
I am in want of nothing but to be released.
Ah, some? Oh, okay then. Now, you're probably wondering who this is. But I assure you, you and the kidneys are of no acquaintance. Come on now, it'll perk you right up.
Release me at once!
You will be released as soon as you help me.
Me? Help you? Well, I will never help you! Not after you butchered those poor women and... My God! John! Is he alive? Please say he's alive!
My good Mrs. Watson, just as I have need for you, I have need for your husband. I assure you he is alive and just as concerned about you.
Well, where is he? What do you want of him?
What I want is for you. to write a letter. Now, here is a pen, the ink, and some paper.
I will not write. When I'm done, then you won't need me anymore, and you'll kill me.
Be still! You're safe! You're not like those others, those living pustules in petticoats. You're not here to make amends for anything you've done to me.
But I've done nothing to you.
Exactly! That's why I need you and your husband to help me meet Mr. Sherlock Holmes. I hear your husband is a very dear friend of his.
Well, yes, but you already know that.
I do indeed. Now take down what I dictate.
What could you want of Sherlock when he's just recovering from an illness? He's in no shape to deal with the likes of you.
An illness also known as cocaine?
No, a legitimate illness.
When I saw him in the street this morning, he looked healthy as...
But he's not well at all. He's in no shape to deal with you.
Oh, women! Oh, you liars and schemers! Oh, I swear to the Almighty, if I didn't need you, really need you, but I do need you. So right.
I can do as you ask, not for that purpose. Release me, and I'll talk to John, and he can talk to the police. He can convince them that you were driven to kill
by this.
Yes, I am sorry.
Ah, you feel sympathy for me, do you? Pity even. Would you like to bathe my open sores and assure me that my pustules are not as hard as I feel they are? Perhaps an embrace. Perhaps you would like to caress my cheek and croon words of comfort to me. I think not. Now write!
What did I write?
Excellent. Here's what you should take down. My dear husband, knowing that my safety, indeed my very life, depends upon you following this letter to these instructions to the letter. Are you getting all this?
Yeah.
Good on you, Mary. Shall we continue? I think the first thing my captor shall... My captor? Oh, that has a nice ring to it. The first thing my captor shall need is...
This must stop at once.
I agree, Mrs. Hudson. This must stop. Watson, you will cease all fisticuffs, of course.
Sorry, Holmes, but you had it coming. Why, it's all your fault. I never should have allowed you to put Mary in danger.
Oh, Dr. Watson!
Mary readily agreed to it.
Oh, Mr. Holmes!
Do not belabor the point. You are to blame. If anything happens to Mary, I swear to you, Sherlock Holmes, a stock in the job will be the least of your worries.
Now, Watson.
Oh, don't now Watson me, sir. And look at you. You're just sitting on the floor, doing absolutely nothing.
But you're the one who put him there!
There is little we can do in this instance, Watson. We can't cover Whitechapel. That section of London is like a rabbit warren. Police can do more than we can. It requires manpower. To even attempt to find that lair is a fool's errand. It truly vexes the mind. I thought, for sure, I was so certain that he would approach me himself, but how could he with Lestrade poking about? So he created a diversion and took Mary. She will be the conduit to Moriarty. You must trust me, Watson, and believe in my instincts which tell me he doesn't want your Mary, he wants me. You will not harm her. Therefore, we must remain here, as he will be contacting us within the hour, I am sure of it. Mrs. Hudson.
Why, now he sees me, now that he wants something. What will it be this time, Mr. Holmes?
Spot of tea, if you will, Mrs. Hudson.
Oh, certainly.
I must confess, I still feel a bit sour.
No! I knew it was way too early for you to be mucking about with Jack the Ripper in his lady pen. Oh, if you are to save Mary, you are going to need your strength. Now I'll go fetch you some tea and some broth, or I'll get some stew.
Perhaps something a bit more nourishing, possibly a meat pie?
A meat pie he wants now, like they grow on trees.
And do hurry, Mrs. Hudson.
Oh, hang on, Mr. Holmes. It'll take me a few minutes to climb the meat pie tree. Oh, besides, you hear that? They're here, perhaps with news. I left the door unlocked and waiting. Come on up. Ah, there they are.
Miss Holmes, I got something for you. This here lad almost got her arms tore off by Jack the Ripper himself.
When? Where?
Oh, please be careful not to scare the child.
Need I not remark you that I am a doctor, Mrs. Hudson?
No, because it's what I always called you.
Come. Tell us what you saw.
Go on, tell him, don't climb off. This arm depends on me.
She's scared. I saw the whole thing.
What did he look like? Come on now, listen, think. It's very important, dear.
Was he tall or short? Fat or thin?
He was tall, but not too tall. Fat, but not too fat. Thin, you might say, but on the heavy side.
Anything striking about his face? Scars, a broken nose, beard or mustache?
We didn't see nothing, seeing that he had a scarf over his face.
Oh, bloody hell, we'll never find Mary!
You say he was wearing a scarf. What about clothing?
Of course he was wearing clothes.
Oh, God!
What type of clothes? What color?
All black. A green coat. Hat, trousers, boots. All black as pitch.
Go on, tell him what he smells like. He smells like he is dying from the inside out.
Well, I'd best fetch your tea and a meat pie, and I'm sure I can find something for you children as well. Would you like that?
No, we're not hungry. All of you, it's my sister.
Always hungry, Mrs. Hudson. Don't listen to him. We'll share and we thank you.
Sarah, there's plenty for all of you, and I think I can find a meat pie for this precious little angel too. Would you like that?
Say thank you.
Thank you.
Wiggins, is this girl one of your irregulars? If not, you might consider taking her on.
I'll consider it. Maybe.
And you, Sarah, are you still in possession of that marvelous bloodhound Toby? We may have need of him yet.
Yes, sir, Mr. Holmes. And his nose as sharp as ever. You give him something to follow, and he'll find your man.
As yet, we have no article of clothing for sale. Sir, I want you and Wiggins to direct Toby to the spot where Dr. Watson was attacked, particularly to the muddy footprints of our man. If Toby picks up anything, follow this into its source, but do nothing. Our man is dangerous. Then report back to me. Now, go down to Mrs. Hudson, collect your meat pies, and see what Sarah's hound can tell us.
Come on, meat pie. Told you.
Watson, Watson, give the boy a few more, will you?
Here you are.
Thanks, Mr. Holmes.
Don't despair, Watson.
How can I not?
That scarf may be an important piece of evidence.
But how?
We are looking for a man who doesn't want his face to be seen by others. With good reason, I suspect. He may be badly scarred, his face may show the markings of a disease. Watson, do you agree, Watson?
Of course. Victims of syphilis, often in the late stages, display oozing pustules, not uncommon on the face. Now, you said that he lived. Sometimes the disease settles in the bone marrow, causing pain and weakness in the joints. I would say that if he's already displaying these late stages, he might already be. Indeed, Holmes. He might already be. Holmes! If he's already mad, why, it may be too late to save my Mary!
I am sure he is still sane and strong. He planned all of this. His attack on you, his ruse to lure me and Lestrade away, his ability to carry Mary against her will. He's not sane in the way we regard sanity, but he is in possession of his faculties.
I couldn't help but overhearing. Oh, I can't believe that you would put Mary in harm's way the way that you did. Now I ask you, what kind of devil are you after all? Poor Mary, what's to become of her? Oh, I brought you some tea. Let me try.
Thank you, Mrs. Hudson. That's something I hear down on the stairs?
Oh, of course it is. You know I locked the door before after I left the children out. Oh!
Why, it's the irregulars! They're back already!
The songs!
Wiggins!
It can't be, you only just departed.
Mrs. Hudson! Well, what have you found?
Chuck here. Chuck is one of the irregulars. We called him Chucker because he likes to chuck.
Never mind that. Tell him what he's got. Cole, you don't want to go jabber.
All over, I give it to him. Hey, Miss Stampede, tell me to give it to no one but you.
What is it, Holmes? Give it to me. It's a life, huh?
Very good, Chucker. And now then, the man who gave this to you. Was he tall, short, thin, fat?
I don't know. He just grabbed me by the hand and said to give us to a bloke called Holmes. Well, I sure enough knew this important, so I find Wiggins, and here I am, sir.
Is that all? Anything else you can tell us?
Well, I seen where it turned to go.
Go on.
Well, sir, I seen that his kerchief was hanging on his pocket, all silk and everything. So I nicked it, accidentally. He never knew I'd done it, and I could get a few gold for it. I hope that's all right, sir.
All right. All right, you say. It's the best news we've had today. So, I trust Toby is nearby.
Tied to the curb, sir. Oh, this is the bludgeon's kerchief. Toby and me, we'll find your man for you. Come on, Wiggins, let's go.
Good job, Wiggins.
Thank you, Mr. Holmes.
Let's go, make haste.
Yes, we too should. Let's follow them, Holmes. Come on. Come.
Mrs. Watson. Mrs. Watson. Come right here.
Go away!
Come on, get up.
Go away!
Let's have a look. No. I'm not Jack. He's gone. In other words, he ain't here. But he will be back soon, so allow me to release you if you want.
Who are you? What's going on?
You were being held captive by the most ruthless, baseless, degenerate criminal ever to walk the streets of London. Actually, you were being held captive by the second most ruthless, baseless criminal ever to walk the streets of London. Do you harm anything?
Well, I have a headache. He held that handkerchief over my mouth. It was awful. Who are you? How do you know of this place? Are you in league with him, or are you with the police? Were you arrested?
The police. No, no, my dear, not the police. But you need not fear. I have no intentions of harming you or permitting him to harm you. I assure you will soon be reunited with your husband.
Oh, my husband, where's John? Is he well?
He is unharmed. As are you, I see. Not dead, I mean. He didn't kill you. Guess he's had his fill. So, what did he want with you?
Well, he forced me to write a letter. I thought he would kill me, so I did what he said.
Well,
Well, what, sir?
what was in the letter?
I believe that is a matter between my husband and Jack the Ripper, sir.
If you don't tell me, I shall retie your bonds and watch as our mutual friend guts you.
The letter said that he said that Jack the Ripper, would release me on the condition that he would get his freedom.
Fair enough, trade. Anything else?
As an incentive, he promised to hand over the master criminal Moriarty.
He did what?
Don't ask me to explain. I don't understand any of it. I saw Moriarty taken into custody just months ago.
He was, madam, I assure you he was.
Your voice. Something about your voice. Are you a friend of John's or of Sherlock?
Friend. No, not a friend. I would characterize our relationship as more competitive. You see, I hold Mr. Holmes in deep admiration. I consider him a worthy opponent.
Opponent. My God, Moriarty! But how? I saw you taken into custody myself!
Temporary custody, my dear. I will not divulge my secrets, but let's just say the long trip to Dartmoor prison can be hazardous, especially to the guards. Unfortunately, once liberated, I ran into an old colleague, Inspector Lestrade. Fortunately, Lestrade is so busy with this Jack the Ripper thing, his limited powers of concentration are all wrapped up in Jack. He's neglected to pay attention to me. Speaking of old friends, I hear ours coming now. Come. Come inside.
You! What am I to do with you? Well, maybe I know.
Put it away. Oh, how I would love to kill you. Right here, right now, but I can't afford the mess. You see, the police are on the way. One of my minions saw a group of Sherlock Holmes and his irregulars following a large hound that was on a scent. They were exclaiming it was your kerchief that they were
Let's! How?
Well, it looks like you got your pocket picked, Jack. Tut tut. Amateur. Well, Mrs. Watson, I shall be leaving now. I suggest we do the same. Oh, and go out the regular way.
Supposed to go
we've gone in here.
I beg your pardon.
Is he here or not?
See for yourself.
How do you get down there?
The ladder, Professor.
Oh, we ain't got all day. Out of my way, Jerry.
Oh, here now, what's done? Nothing I suspect. He's a quiet one, he is. Not like you two blackguards come busting in here like you owns the place. I owns it, not you, and I don't want no trouble. So I'm telling you, he's a good tenant. Pays his rent, don't complain. Says he likes the cellar. Doesn't even mind the occasional rat. He's a gentleman when he talks nice to me. When he talks at all.
Doesn't complain, does he? Saint I say, it's a cesspool down here. All right, there's nothing and nobody down here. You must have seen him leave. When did he go?
I ain't his mom. He comes and goes as he wills.
Let's get out of here. There's nothing of interest.
Oh, y'all want to see it, though.
Oh, now who's this? And there's another one, too. What's this all about?
I see the police are one step ahead of us. A good sign, I would say. Madam, it appears that all roads lead to your domicile when one follows the scent of Sarah's hound, Toby.
Who's dark? God, this one talks in riddles.
If our man is not here, as it would appear he is not, we shall not trouble you much longer. Permit us to search his living quarters.
Join the party.
Officers, as we entered, I heard you say there is nothing of interest here.
As far as I can see, there isn't.
Me too.
Watson, look here.
Oh, what is it, Holmes?
You tell me, Doctor.
Why, it's mercury.
Mercury, still the most effective treatment for syphilis.
But with terrible side effects.
Officers, have you asked the proprietress when she last saw our man?
What's he call me? I'm none of his sassy mouth.
Take no offense, madam, but it is an important question.
Well, he went out of here an hour ago, maybe. Maybe.
Was he in the company of a woman?
A young, beautiful woman.
I see no woman, as none's allowed in my establishment. Respectable.
My God, where is she? Was she even here?
She was here. This is the nosegay you gave her earlier.
Yes.
She was here, but she left in a hurry, leaving this clue behind. But if the proprietress said
Oh, there he goes again.
if the landlady said she never saw him
And
depart,
I didn't.
then there must be another way out of here.
There's an old tunnel leads to the sewers, but that hasn't been used in years.
The tunnel. Where?
Right there.
Officers, help me break through this panel. This must be where they went.
Oh, it's a bugger.
I think it's loose in your bed.
Well, till I loosen it.
Oh, heave now!
Gentlemen,
Don't you go doing no damage.
Please, madam.
there, I think I've got it. Come, Watson. I think I know where this tunnel leads.
Now, who's gonna fix me bloody wall?
Come right here. Give me your hand. There we are. I assume we're on one piece.
Yes.
It was a long trek, I know, but we made it. And here we are, right as rain.
Yes. Well, part of me feels that I should thank you for saving my life. And then the other part of me knows that you're a murderer and God knows what else. Thus, I don't know what to think.
I make no excuses for my behavior, Mrs. Watson. My world is a dark one, I assure you. I do sometimes regret my actions, although they are not, as a matter of course, unnecessary. You, on the other hand, were born into a world of gentility and honor, where a man's word was his bond, where trust was conveyed with a handshake or an oath. You hold my ethic up and compare it to that of your husband, or your father, or our favorite moralist, Sherlock Holmes. But remember, your father killed many in India, fighting for queen and country. And as far as loyalty is concerned, let's just say your husband is lacking in fervor for this cause of yours, the capture of the notorious Jack the Ripper. Oh, and let's not forget our favorite cocaine addict, Sherlock Holmes.
I will not argue with you. There is some truth in what you say, although you have twisted it like a blower. Your opinion on my husband, my father, and Mr. Holmes I do not agree with, and therefore I will not be thanking you for saving my life. Am I free to go?
Of course you are. You were free the moment we left the lair. Oh, and by the way, make sure you tell Sherlock to follow that letter's instructions to the G. It's imperative for catching the man. Let's hope you don't regret that, Mr. Teacher.
Mary? Mary! Oh, Mary, she's here! I found her! Oh, my dear, are you all right? Did he stab you? Oh, she's here, she's not killed! Oh, my dear, we've all been out searching for you. Little Wiggins stopped by to say that they found the Ripper's rooms. Here she is! I found her! But they said that you weren't there when they busted down the door. Where were you, Mary? Oh, here she is! I found her! I found you, love! I can't wait to turn you over to Dr. Watson! Oh, I'm exhausted! Oh, why don't you come in and we'll have a cup of tea?
Oh, Miss Woodson, you found Mary.
Oh, that I did! Now you run along and give word to Dr. Watson and Mr. Holmes. Scat now! Mr. Hudson, tea.
Thank you, Mrs. Hudson. That would be wonderful. Is it far? I am very tired.
Oh, Mary, look up. We're just a few steps from 221B.
Well, is John in there?
Oh, no, he's out with Mr. Holmes looking for you. Well, didn't you hear? I told the boy to go fetch them. Yes. Well, don't you worry now. Boy is on his way with the wonderful news. Now come inside, come inside.
We must get word to him that I am well and unscathed. Relatively.
Now, my dear, you sit here and rest, and I'll get us some tea. I can't imagine what you've been through today. And we'll be right back.
Thank you, Mrs. Hudson.
Oh, Mary, a cup of tea. I thought you might be hungry, so I found some tea biscuits for you. But I didn't find them. I hid them. Those little irregulars have regular little appetites, if you ask me. Why, they eat my shoes if I wasn't wearing them. Oh, Mary, you're still upset, and here I am prattling on.
My father would have been so ashamed to have raised such a weak...
Oh, no, my dear. Here, you just have this cup of tea. It'll be just the thing to raise your spirits. You won't feel like a weakling. You'll feel like the hero that you are. Hero in
Thank you, Mrs. Hudson. Just what I need to bring me back to the real world. What would we do without your ministrations? Oh, but John must be frantic.
Oh,
Well, you said one of the irregulars sent word that I was found and well.
yes, my man should be returning anytime soon.
Thank you.
push you around? Did he make you look at French postcards?
It was the strangest thing. I was in the street and John was hit over the head by a man. I couldn't see his face. He had a scar. He put a rag over my mouth. It smelled of ether. I think it was awful. And I woke in darkness, nothing but darkness and emptiness. When my eyes adjusted, I saw the man, the same one from the street. He was cooking.
What?
Kidneys, he said.
Bribes! Oh, I can just guess who they used to belong to. Did he make you eat them? What did he serve them with? Oh, he just seems like such a monster, he does.
He was helpful, actually. He seemed genuinely concerned for my well-being. He asked me to write a letter to John, asking that he be freed from the murders and allowed to go free upon my release. And then he tied me up and left with the letter. And then there was another man, Moriarty.
Moriarty! Oh my heavens, Mary! Oh, Moriarty! You really had yourself quite a day, haven't you? 2 monsters for the price of 1. Oh, what did Moriarty do to you? Anything you can't tell Dr. Watson?
No, he took me into a tunnel.
Tunnel?
Yes, a tunnel.
Do you mean the sewer?
It could have been the sewer. We walked for a very long time. He seemed to know the way we were going, and we ended up here, well, out on the street.
The sewers?
No, it was a tunnel, I'm sure. I don't understand.
Oh, neither do I. You don't smell like you've been walking around in the sewer.
No. I mean, he's a murderer, but he saved my life.
Oh, I know. Oh, Mary, you are lucky to be alive. Oh, it had to be so horrible for you. Thank God it's over.
Oh, but it isn't over.
Oh, I know. Tell me about what you did with the keys.
Hurry, Holmes! Hurry!
John!
Mary! Oh, Mary! Oh, you're safe! You're here! You're safe! I thought that I'd never see you again, Mary! Holmes, look! Look! She's here, and she's all right, Holmes!
Indeed.
Oh, darling, was it that beastly for you?
Oh, it was a horrible ordeal. Come on, dear.
He forced you to write that letter.
Forced you? How?
Oh, I thought he would kill me if I didn't write the letter, and I thought he would have some remembrance of me. By the way, you were right about the
Syphilis?
Yes. He showed his face to me. It was covered in pustules and boils and, oh, gallery.
Oh, she's speaking French. Come here. We must get her to lie down.
In the letter, he said he can deliver Moriarty, and he expects to be freed as a reward. We shall see.
I think that he means to do you harm, Sherlock. You are not to meet with him.
He's killed 5 women that we know of. He cannot escape the law. I will meet with him on the chance that he can deliver Moriarty, and then we can nab them both.
Oh, John, you must talk to him. It's too dangerous.
Oh, he listens to no one. Not to me.
Mrs. Hudson, please see to the door.
Oh, of course I'll see to the door. Who else is going to see to the door? And I can get to well enough.
Mrs. Hudson, what I am most curious about is how you escaped from Jack.
Well, there was another man.
Another man?
Yes. He came and rescued me and assured me I was safe. He asked me some questions about my captor. I told him about the letter.
Who was this man?
Yes, Mary, who was it?
Inspector Lestrade.
Ah, there you are, Mrs. Watson. I came as soon as I heard of your recovery. Well now, we seem to have quite the reception committee here. Mrs. Hudson, I'll be taking some tea. It's been a very long day.
Oh, you will now, will you?
Of course.
Mrs. Hudson.
Now then, is someone going to tell me how Mrs. Watson was recovered?
She was saved by a man who took her from that foul lair and brought her here. I still await the answer to my question. Who was this man?
Who was this man? It was
Moriarty! The devil Moriarty! What? I am so sorry, Mary. I just couldn't keep it in.
When did Moriarty enter the picture? When he's in Dartmoor.
Indeed. I put him on the prison lawyer myself.
It's not as surprising as you may think, gentlemen. The man is supernaturally clever. If anyone could escape, it is he.
He did hint that he escaped somewhere along the road to Dartmoor.
He must have made some kind of substitution. Otherwise, me and my men would have heard of his escape. I'll have my men scour the city. But why would Moriarty involve himself in all this? What does he have to gain?
Well, he said that you would be so busy with Jack that you would forget about him. He did say one other curious thing. We were walking through the tunnels and, well, we talked a bit.
Talked a bit about what, if I might ask, eh?
The weather, John. Well, he told me to make sure you, Mr. Holmes, followed the instructions in the letter to the T. Only, I didn't tell him what was in the letter, just that I wrote it.
Suggests a familiarity with the letter.
Yes, it's as though he ordered Jack to order Mary what to write.
He's in collusion with Jack, or more likely is using him for his own purposes.
Then you must not meet with him, Holmes. Not in your condition. Why, you're just not strong, you know.
Fear I must meet with him before he kills again. But I won't be alone. Inspector Lestrade will accompany me.
Of course,
What do you
Holmes.
say?
How many men do you think we'll need?
None, Inspector.
At least let me come. I'm a good shot. Sherlock.
Inspector, did you come here alone?
No, I have 2 men waiting outside.
Good. Before we depart, send them to Jack's residence. Have them inform the landlady that she must accompany them to the station to answer some questions about her tenant. I want Jack to feel he can safely return to his lair, or I will meet with him. Lestrade and I will travel via the tunnels.
You mean the sewers?
No, the tunnels. There exists, under London, a series of tunnels, once used for smuggling. They are a vast array. Jack will return to his lair.
How can you know this? We know nothing of this man. How he thinks or why he does what he does.
Of course, all that I propose is conjecture, Inspector, but underpinned by fact. You will see the woman taken away. The house, therefore, will be empty. But assume he does not plan to take a residence there again, but rather he left something behind when he fled earlier. He will return. He must return. All logic points in favor to my conclusion. We will be there to confront him, emerging from that hidden path. Surprise will be our métier.
But what will I be doing during all this time, Holmes?
You are to wait outside his residence. Wait for his return, and then follow him inside. We shall have him coming and going.
But what was this all-important thing, Holmes? My men searched his entire room when they found nothing.
His memory.
Difficult to obtain when you are in hiding.
But the only thing that gives him relief from his disease.
We must be off.
Please be careful, John.
I will, darling.
Grab this lantern.
you were Holmes himself. What the bleeding hell are you doing coming in that way? Don't you know I could have jabbed you?
You do not understand my instructions.
Your instructions.
I dictated a letter to you, and then you dictated it to the ever so naive Mrs. Watson. You were to stay away from this place. I was to meet Holmes myself. We have a score to settle.
Well, I needed to come back. The medicine. I left it here earlier and I needed it.
Ah, yes, mercury. You know, it does ease some pain from your disease, but it does cause insanity and carelessness.
Your careless jabber could get you killed.
No, it can't. Why are you really here?
The mercury. And I have a request of Mr. Sherlock Holmes.
A request, you say?
Yes. And it ain't none of your business.
No need to growl, Jack. You see, I heard about your little improvisation. You offer up Mary and me and get your freedom. Well, I already brought Mary back, Jack. Looks like you only have me as bargaining tool now.
Well, instead of giving him you, I could give him your dead body.
Put it away. I would enjoy this so much if I didn't kill you. Once again, we're in this position. But, wait, I hear them coming. Do nothing.
Here we are, the straw.
Holmes? What the bloody hell? Here now, what's this?
No wonder they can't catch the Ripper. It's a pistol.
As I live and breathe. Professor Moriarty, in the flesh. And Jack the Ripper himself, I presume? Stay right where you are, gentlemen. This building is surrounded. You can't escape, so I suggest you part with those
I
weapons.
suggest you shut up and sit down over there. He's still breathing. He should be okay. Let me guess, Inspector, you have a set of handcuffs with you, right?
Yes, but...
Cup your wrists together. Do it, or I'll introduce a bullet to your brain. Good. Now, maybe you could help me, Inspector. I have a little bit of a dilemma. What should I do with poor Jack the Ripper here?
There now, I ain't poor.
Should I kill him right here? Or should I hand him over to you and watch the rest of London's misfits muck it up? Oh no, wait. I know what I'll do. You're free to go, Jack. That's right. Go ahead. Take off.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I mean, if it were up to me, if I were carrying all of the aces, I know what to do.
No.
I'm good for the hanging.
I'm a man of
Do your best.
I'm a man of my word, Jack. May leave. And I hope we never see the likes of you again. Go.
Hello, Mr. Holmes. Goodbye, Mr. Holmes.
Wait. Stop. You promised me Moriarty.
Well, there he is. He's pointing a pistol at your heart. Sorry about that one, mate.
No worries. In exchange for Moriarty, I give you your freedom.
Holmes! His freedom ain't yours to give.
Not to worry, Inspector. You see, his spree is at an end. He needed to take his revenge on 5 women. For it is one of 5 who passed the disease on to him, one of whom may have been his mother. Am I correct, Jack?
How did you know?
I'm in the business of deduction. I read the clues, and I deduce that you are done killing. Major point. The city is safe again. And, as you will undoubtedly be dead in a month, I see no reason to burden the city with a trial, as you would only be trying a course. You may go.
But Holmes, I wanted to arrest him.
You ain't arresting nobody tied there like a pig about to be butchered. Which gives me an idea.
Goodbye, Jack. Go, while you still can.
Goodbye, Mr. Holmes.
I wish I could have studied you. You are my first mass murderer.
Well now, that was profoundly uninteresting. Let's bring it back to me, shall we? I'm posed with another dilemma. You see, I have too much respect for you, Mr. Holmes. Not just to kill you right here and now. I mean, we do have a great battle of wits at hand, don't we? I mean, you caught me and sent me to Dartmoor. That's score one for you. And I escaped. But I won't count that as a score for me. I don't want to discourage you in any way.
Discouraged? I laugh in your face. You do not frighten me in any way. Even now, as you would appear to have the upper hand, I see, as in a game of chess, a number of moves that would vanquish you.
Chess. He's got a gun pointed at your head, and you're thinking about chess.
Ah, Lestrade, I forgot about you. I hope you don't mind if we don't match wits. It would barely be a competition. Watson, this was a new suit!
I now aim at your heart, Moriarty.
You have the upper hand. Oh, hello, Mrs. Watson. Good to see you.
Mary, where? Mary, what are you doing here? You follow me? Oh, no. I fell for the oldest trick in the book. Holmes, are you all right? Okay, John, he didn't shoot you, Inspector. What the deuce do we have here? Don't you two look nice and cozy? Where's the key, Inspector?
I have it right here, Doctor. Oh, I was sure I wouldn't be shot. But I must thank you, Dr. Watson. And well, it ain't like a man like me to offer his apologies, but...
Oh, you can start by calling me John, Inspector. Wait, I don't know your first name, Inspector.
It's Gregory.
Oh, glad to be of service, Gregory. Gregory.
Say nothing, and neither shall I, Dr. Watson.
John.
Ah, John, of course. I would also appreciate it if you don't call me that in front of my men. You understand.
I understand, Gregory.
Thank you, John.
Now that we've straightened that out, perhaps we might leave this filthy hole and proceed back to 221B. I, for one, could use a glass of brandy.
I heartily concur, Holmes. Shall we join him, Gregory?
Without hesitation, John.
John and Gregory. Fresh hell is this.
Why don't you pour yourself a brandy here?
Oh, Mrs. Hudson, I already have.
I see.
I'm sorry. I'm being rude.
Oh, not at all, not at all. You're just being nervous, as am I. Oh, it takes a bit to perfect the art, there you. Oh. Try it again.
I've watched my father do this 100 times.
Oh, well, you just don't worry, dear, because they are going to be fine. They are going to be fine. Your husband is quite courageous. He's an excellent shot. And Mr. Holmes, well, what can I say about him? Well, the man is brilliant and cunning and brave. Just the kind of man you want at your side in a fight. He is no weakling, though he might look like one.
Let's not forget about Inspector Lestrade.
Lestrade! Now he's weakling. Regular mama's boy he is, facial hair. Isn't it?
My father made it look so easy.
Men, especially fathers, always make it look easy. Till that practice.
Mary!
Oh, John!
Mary, we're here. We returned. Wait, wasn't this a full bottle before we left Mrs. Hudson?
Don't worry, I've got another bottle in the kitchen. Oh, she was so worried about you and about all of you. I'll be right back.
John,
Mary.
Tell us what happened.
Oh, I've had it at Holmes explain it to you. Oh, terrible business. I only came in on it at the end.
He is the reason why we live, though, Mary. Your husband saved our lives. He's the reason why we stand before you today.
Here you are, gentlemen.
Don't mind if I do, Mrs. Hudson.
Thank you, Mrs. Hudson. Thank you.
Welcome. Mr. Holmes, I am like a corset on a hog. I'm just about ready to bust at the seams. Please do tell us what happened.
I'm afraid four-way was not the success that I had hoped for. Inspector Lestrade and I entered the cellar room via the tunnel system, expecting to find our Ripper, when I was immediately struck down by Moriarty. As I lay unconscious, Lestrade and I were cuffed together. Moriarty allowed Jack to leave and then aimed his pistol at Inspector Lestrade. But before he could shoot Lestrade, Watson shot Moriarty. It was not a fatal wound. He vanished into the tunnels. The police are searching now, but I don't expect they'll find him. As for Jack, not said. I can only guess that he will leave the city, but there's no way he can go in his condition. He will either die within the fortnight, or more likely, Moriarty will do away with him. Whatever the case, this ends the affair, and I'm afraid leaves me nothing but idle time.
I say, let's have another drink. Mary?
She's fine.
oh, you go ahead, dear.
Yes, dear, I will.
I think I shall join you, John.
Oh, let me do the honors, Gregory.
John?
Allow me, ladies. Inspector Lestrade and Dr. Watson have decided to forego any vestige of class or propriety and have decided to become friends, evidenced by them currently calling each other by their Christian names. You agree with my deductions, John?
What you need, Holmes, is a hobby, one that has nothing to do with deducing.
Actually, my friend, what I need is for Mrs. Hudson to answer the door.
Why would I answer the door? There's nobody at the... He's a walking crystal ball, he is. Bleeding, annoying walking crystal ball, he is too.
Prepare yourselves, John and Gregory.
Prepare ourselves for what?
Scandal in Bohemia.
John, what the hell is he talking about?
Wait. Wait. Here it is.
What?
Oh, I don't know. Oh, but there it is.
Mr. Sherlock Holmes, I presume.
I am he.
You may address me as the Count von Prehm, a Bohemian nobleman.
I'm aware of your name and title.
As you can see, I am wearing a mask.
I'm aware of that as well.
Mary, both have had a very long
It
day.
is
Come here.
both or none.
Did you not receive the letter I recently sent you in the mail? My Einflugensche Schreiben. Red envelope? Ducal stamp?
Oh, that reminds me, you did get a very fancy letter in the post just the other day. But I don't remember what it is.
I found it. It was in the bread box. If you are referring to the letter in which you announced your intention to visit here this very evening at a quarter to 8, then yes, I am in possession of it and at your service. Please, have a seat. About the mask.
My august employer wishes that his agent, me, be unknown to the commoners, you. Because to speak plainly, I, the Count Alexis von Krem, am here on an urgent matter which implicates the great house of Ormstein, the hereditary kings of Bohemia.
Why to hell?
Mrs. Hudson, please, sir, I tire of subterfuge.
I beg your pardon?
Your Majesty would condescend to state his case, I would be that much more able to advise you.
My Majesty, how dare you? The impertinence! I am not the king! I am the Count Alexis von Krem! How many times must I say it? I am not the king! All right, I am the king.
No, from the moment you opened your mouth.
When one is royal, it is fruitless to hide one's roots.
Which royal are you, sir?
You do not know who I am? How dare you!
Oh, Royal Majesty, please, if I may. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Wilhelm Gottfried Sigismund von Ormstein, Castle Duke of Castle Fringed and hereditary king of Bohemia.
You, Lord. Lord, I am the king, Lord. Holmes! I will take a part, nothing more than a 47.
Mrs. Hudson,
I'm stuck.
Watson,
Now, Mr. Holmes, have you ever heard of an Irene Adler?
Why, Irene Adler is the only woman, actually the only person that Holmes ever loved. But stay tuned for our next great adventure, where there will indeed be a scandal in Bohemia.